So today we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a flashback video, and we're actually going to be talking about our first ever trip together. And so port numero tres was
Puerto Vallarta.
Yes, it was. And I think that was hands down our favorite one.
Yeah.
Probably. Just the beauty of it was, I don't want to say that the other two places weren't beautiful, because they were, but just
It's more modern.
It's more modern, and there was just so much more of the beauty,
Yeah.
I felt, than the other two places had. One thing that was really noticeable was, I think the cruise lines must have an agreement with the city to allow vendors to
Yeah.
come, because literally, like, as you get off the ship,
Yeah, right as you exit the
there's stands of
They're all
vendors.
set up on the walkway.
Yeah, all ready to go. And they're not pushy or anything. They will say, like, hey, come check out my stuff, but they won't
Like when
hound
you're walking
you.
in a mall, people
Yeah.
do that to you.
Yeah, they won't hound you or anything. I do feel like their stuff was a little overpriced,
Yeah.
because they were like the convenience of having them right by the ship. If you forget, like, oh, I forgot to get this for my mom or whatever, and it's there, you're just gonna get it. So, but what we did at that shore excursion was we actually hopped on a catamaran, and we did a full day trip. They picked us, or actually we walked over to
Yeah,
the
we walked.
catamaran.
It was walking distance.
It was
from,
walking
from the boat.
distance. And I think, what time did we have to be on there? Like 8 in the morning?
It was earlier, I remember.
Yeah, I think we had to be on the catamaran at 8 in the morning, and it was a massive
It was
catamaran.
like a 2-hour ride, wasn't it? To the first
To the
spot.
first spot.
Yo estoy caminando por el barco and walking around the boat.
So the first thing we did on the catamaran was they had like a breakfast buffet set up with coffee, drinks, and some pastries. So you got to have that if you hadn't eaten at the ship. And then the first stop was another snorkel spot. And that snorkel spot was beautiful, but there weren't as many fish as Cabo.
No.
Not at
Cabo
all.
was the best snorkeling spot.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was still a beautiful spot, because there was like the water, and then you had like hillsides of just jungle everywhere. So it was really pretty to like get off and swim.
We had them taking pictures of us.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
a GoPro. He'd go under
Going
go under us
underwater.
and take pictures.
Yeah, and so then we got to this snorkel spot, and they told us once we got there that one of their people is a photographer. Actually, I think like 2 of them.
Yeah.
They're photographers, so if you don't want to have to worry about, capturing all these moments and getting nice photos, you can pay a little bit extra, and then they take photos for you. And I know a lot of you guys know that, because a lot of companies do that. And we usually opt for that, because it is nice to have somebody else taking like candid photos of you, so that you don't have to worry about it. Especially at that time, we didn't have a GoPro or
No.
anything waterproof at that time, and they did.
Mhm.
So we were like, yeah, we definitely want to get some photos in the water and all that nice stuff. And they actually did some prints for us as well. And I think they charged us $60 or something like that. But they gave us like over 100 photos.
Yeah, we got a
I
lot.
think we got a ton from them, and they were all good. And then the second stop was a little beach town, a little fishing town called Yelapa. And it is just the cutest, most quaint little town. You can only access it via ship. There's no roads.
No roads to it.
It sits up on a hill, and it's just jungle everywhere, and like one small beach, and that's the only way that you can get to it is via ship. So as we're pulling up, we're like,
I think I took one of the best pictures of that trip at Yelapa.
I think you did.
One with the boat, and
Yeah.
I'll put that right
Yeah,
here.
you guys will see. We took a bunch of pictures there just because it was such a beautiful little town. The water was warm, but like as we were getting off the ship, they said, you guys can just hang out here at the beach, which is what most people will probably opt to do, because that's what people want to do on vacation. You can just hang out at the beach, eat at the restaurant, or you guys can come with us. There's actually a hike that you do all the way up to the top of the town, and at the very top there's a waterfall. So if you guys want to do that, go ahead and do that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to, because I only had flip-flops with me, and I was concerned about my knee because I have bad knees. I've dislocated my right knee several times. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do a hike in flip-flops. I don't know how safe that is. So I asked the guy, and he was like, oh, it's fine. He's like, it's not that difficult of a hike. It's just, you know, for people that are out of shape, it might be a little more work than they're used to. He's like, but I think you'll be fine. So we both agreed we wanted to go up to the waterfall, and so happy that we did. It's just, there's literally nothing but locals and donkeys as you're going up to the waterfall. And it was beautiful. When we got to the waterfall, it's not like a massive waterfall, but it is very, very pretty. And there's like a little swimming hole that you can go in, and there's this guy with an iguana, of all things, and he just
massive iguana.
Yeah, it was this like massive iguana, and he just gets his iguana, and he's like, here, throws her in the water, and this iguana is just like swimming around
in the water,
enjoying her life, living her best life. And so we were trying to get some pictures, and this guy, the local with the iguana, was like, oh, hold on, and he brings the iguana over as a prop, and you guys will see all the pictures that we took with her. That was fun, and they don't charge you anything, but you know, we gave him, what was it, $5?
Yeah,
I think we gave him $5 just as a thank you for letting us use the iguana as like a prop for our photos. And then we walked back down to the beach area, and there's a restaurant right on the beach. I think there's 2 restaurants, right? There were 2 restaurants. We wanted more ceviche because of that ceviche that we had in Mazatlan.
Maybe we can duplicate that experience.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, let's go have some ceviche like at the beach. And while the ceviche was good, it was nothing like the one in Mazatlan at all. But it's still tasty. You guys will see pictures of that one. And then we just swam in the ocean for the rest of the day. We hopped back on the catamaran. They had a whole spread of food there too, which I wasn't expecting because we had just eaten. But they had like grilled chicken, pasta. I think they had steak too. They had tons of fruit, and of course open bar. So, and they kept filling me up on drinks, even though I didn't ask them to. But they just kept appearing, so I kept drinking them.
Their drink would start to get empty, and then what would the guy do?
He'd come over, he'd grab my drink, he'd be like, another drink? Yes, why not? Okay, let me go get it for you. Didn't even have to ask for it. As soon as it started to get low, they were like, here you go. And then they put on shows, which were really funny.
Yeah, we thought. Good.
And you guys will see some footage of that as well.
Footage right here.
All right, this is an oldie, but well, it's an oldie where I come from.
And then we got back to the port, and Puerto Vallarta was the longest one. We were there from like 7 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, I think. So we got back from the day trip, I think around 5. So we still had a lot of time. We showered, and then there was a Walmart right across the street.
It's like a mall, right? There was a mall over there.
There was a Walmart and a mall, yeah, and I think a Costco. So we decided we wanted to go pick up some snacks. We have to get these chips that we found in Cabo. We have to. We're searching all over the store, getting ready to leave because we just can't. We don't see them anywhere. So we're like walking out. We're like, that sucks. Those chips were so good. And then we see like right in between the aisles is this massive stack of chips.
Big old display.
So we got our chips, which we were so happy about. Went back to the ship, and that was it for us. And then the biggest lightning storm that we've ever seen just came down on us.
It came out of nowhere. It was nice and sunny, and it just showed up within like 5 minutes. It just started pouring, and there was lightning.
It was like a torrential downpour and lightning everywhere, thunder everywhere. It was crazy. I actually thought we might get stuck in the port because it was
raining hard.
bad. It was a full-on lightning storm. It just kept storming through the night, and we got some video footage of that as well, which was actually quite beautiful, I think. Yeah.
It was kind of far in the distance when we were sailing away, so that's what made it more beautiful. It wasn't on top of us.
Exactly. I think I would have been freaking out if it was close to us. Because that's just me, and it was just like the perfect end to the trip. I think we're just like, we had perfect weather. I mean, a little hotter than we would have liked, but perfect for being in the water our entire trip. So to like end it with like this beautiful tropical lightning storm, I think was kind of poetic, to be quite honest. It was beautiful. And then the next 2 days were just fun days at sea, and most of those days were fun, but the last day at sea was not a fun one for me.
It was not so fun for me either.
As you guys may recall, earlier in the video I said that I'm very careful with my knee because I've had several knee dislocations. So every single shore excursion, I was sure to be careful. And then on our last day on the ship, we were getting ready to go to breakfast.
So she was walking away from me, stepping towards the door. So I grabbed her arm and I pulled her towards me, and her foot must have been aimed the wrong way or something, and it was just deep knee dislocation.
Screaming like you've never heard screaming before.
I thought that I was going to go to jail because I thought that they thought that I was going to be killing her.
I was screaming. I was like, ow! And then I was like, help! Help! It hurts so much! And Richie's like freaking out. And he's like, what is happening? I remember you said that.
I was like, this is the end of this. We had a good run. That was it.
And then somehow my knee popped back in. I don't know if it popped back on its own, if Richie helped it in.
I put it back into place.
So it ended up back where it was supposed to be, so the screaming stopped. But then it kind of clicked in my head what had just happened. I was like, dang it, I tried so hard to be careful with my knee, and then this one tries to hug me, and out it goes. And yeah, it was...
Then I walked down to the medical area at the bottom of the boat to get her an ace bandage, get some compression on it.
And I remember him walking in the door with the ace bandage, and I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm like, can you go get me some food now? I'm hungry. I was in excruciating pain, and I was so hungry.
And she's very hard to deal with when she's hungry.
I'm the worst human being in the world when I'm hungry. I'm the first person to admit that. I'm not fun. But Richie was a trooper. He's like, what can I get you? And I was like, I want French toast.
Starving. Let's get some French toast.
They better have French toast.
They have French toast.
And they had it, and he got me my French toast and my coffee, and once I finished my food, I was a little bit better, and I saw that Richie was feeling really guilty. He was
I just put her knee out of socket.
He was hunched over, not facing me, and I was like, hey, I know you didn't do it on purpose. I'm sorry if I got super mad at you. I'm like, I just hate when this happens because I've gone through it before, and
I'm really surprised nobody came knocking on the door.
Me too.
Because she was screaming and she was yelling, help, help.
Yeah.
Like I was doing something to her.
Yeah, because I was in so much pain. It had been 7 years since the last time that I had dislocated my knee. So I was not used to that level of pain anymore. So I was screaming help, help. And honestly, I'm surprised nobody came knocking on the door either.
Nobody asked any questions, nothing.
I'm like, wow.
I could have murdered her. That would have been okay.
Nobody would have noticed. But yeah, it ended up being okay. Tell me what you learned about me on that trip.
Number one, don't pull you in directions because they can just pop out of it for nothing.
Yeah.
And try to keep feeding her snacks because you don't want to be around her when she's hungry.
And something I learned about Richie on that trip was that he's very patient with me, and I really appreciate that. He's like the most mellow, like this, what you see here, like this is all you ever get from him. He's just so mellow, so patient, so yeah.
Sometimes I'm impatient.
Not as much as me. I think we can both agree I'm the impatient one.
Yeah.
And I consider myself pretty patient actually. And so before we leave you guys, we figured we'd give you guys some tips. So what's a tip that you would give to a couple taking their first trip together?
Okay, so my tip would be probably to do like a 5 or a 7 day cruise if you're going to go cruising. Don't do a 14-day because if you're on that boat for 14 days and let's say you guys don't click or something goes wrong, then you're on the boat for 14 days. There's no going back.
And even if it's not a cruise, probably don't make the trip too long.
You don't want to make it too long.
Yeah, like if you guys end up not clicking on it, you don't want to make it worse by being stuck together longer than.
Yeah, just make it worse.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think for me, the tip that I would give to couples taking their first trip together is don't set any expectations. Like, don't be like, oh my gosh, it's our first trip together. It has to be perfect.
We have to go do everything.
We have to go do everything. I think don't set any expectations. Really view this as more of a learning experience where you're going to get to really see the other person and more sides of their personality and how they handle situations. Like for us, like my knee dislocating, that could have been a horrible situation. Like if I had set high expectations for this trip or for him, like I could have been like, oh, this is completely ruined, and like it could have completely ruined the rest of this amazing trip that we had. But because I didn't set any expectations, and once the anger and the pain had calmed down, I realized like, hey, this amazing guy was so patient, and I know he feels so guilty about it. And honestly, now looking back at it, like it just added so much more to the trip because I got to see a different side of him, a really nurturing side of him, and a really caring side of him. So I think just don't set any expectations and really take the time to see it as a learning experience and learn more about the person that you're with. That would be my tip. And then what about for people that have never cruised? I know a lot of you guys that watch us have, but for people that have never cruised, what tips would you give them?
So I would say to pack light. Don't pack for the whole, say you have a 14-day cruise, don't pack something for every day of the 14 days. I would say 5 to 6 days of clothes, max.
Yeah.
The more stuff you have getting on that boat, the harder it is to move around.
Yeah. That's a really good one.
Because they have a washer and dryer and stuff in there. You can do laundry. And also bring one set of clothes that's fancy.
But every cruise, depending how long it is, has at least one, sometimes two formal nights.
Formal nights.
That's what they call them, formal nights. And it's just fun to and we think it's fun to get dressed up one night out of the time that you're there and take some professional pictures. We always take advantage of the professional photos. Another tip I have is bring toiletries, because I thought the ships were going to be like hotels where they have your shampoo, conditioner, body wash. They're not. They have one body wash and one shampoo, which I think are probably the same thing, to be quite honest. If you end up having to buy it on the ship, it's very expensive, so make sure you bring your body wash, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, face soap, anything that you use, bring it with you because there's none of that on the ship. And then the last tip that I would give is take advantage of all the entertainment on the ship.
The comedy shows were that trip, every single comedian was funny.
Yeah. We loved the comedy shows. They do tons of different types of shows like that, and they have other activities like bingo and stuff. I think bingo you have to pay for, but take advantage of the free activities on the ship, because sometimes the days can get long if you're out at sea for a few days in a row, but there's so much entertainment that you can take advantage of that's free. So that would be my other tip.
Make sure you go to Swirls.
Yes, if you've ever sailed with
24 hours a
Carnival,
day.
you know what Swirls is.
We would go get squirrels 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Some of my favorite days were sea days.
Me too. Yeah.
Just being on the boat.
Yeah, just enjoying like being out in the middle of the ocean, you know, with the person that you love or the people that you love, and yeah, it's just a ton of fun, and you get to talk to other people and hear their stories, and yeah, it's just a blast. So definitely take advantage of it. And that brings us to the end of our video.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this little flashback. We are probably going to do a few more because, like we mentioned,
Yeah.
we have quite a few trips.
We have what, 3 or 4 other trips we didn't.
Yeah, that we didn't vlog. So we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed and you made it to this part of the video, because it's the end, so that means you liked it. There's more of us coming towards you. So, and to all the people that already support us, that share us with their friends and family, that give us a thumbs up, that are, you know, always there to watch our videos as soon as they come out, thank you so much. You guys keep us going. You guys give us so much encouragement, and we love seeing your comments and seeing everything that you have to say and your recommendations. So thank you guys so much.